So we're talking now about the start of this joyful impact journey. And the first step in this joyful impact journey, as we've talked about, is around getting visionary, right? And a lot of us who are doing this work as change agents out in the world, we come to this with a vision. It's not like we don't have a vision, but it's really worth asking yourself, how clear are you about that vision? And is it really compelling? Does it truly pull you forward? Because this work of joyful impact and the self-development that it takes to get better in this work is hard. And so it is really worth at the outset of this journey to take some time to look at your vision for the change you want to make in the world and the change that you want to make in yourself. And who your highest and best self truly is and what it takes to lean into that and to really live that out. You want to get clarity about that vision. And so this exercise is called your what and your why. And unlike what Simon Sinek says, to start with your why, we're actually going to start with your what. And what we're really talking about here is getting back to sort of understand your psychology, understanding it as a system. And you'll see in other videos that we've done, this idea of your whole personality is really a way to understand it is that it's shaped by your external experiences, and all of that sort of goes into the way you process external reality. And out of that, you form intentions about how you're going to meet those 6 human needs we've talked about. And then from there, out in the world, we get your observable behavior patterns, right? And so if we think of that whole thing as a system, it's so important to really have clarity about the step between your intentions and your actual behavior. And that's really where your vision comes in and why it is so important to have a clear and compelling vision, not just of the change you want to make in the world, but how all of this entire inner system is going to work, what your highest and best self really is, what it looks like for you to meet your needs, these 6 human needs that we've talked about, what it looks like to meet those needs in the best, most positive possible way. And so what this exercise is about is really creating the opportunity for you to write 2 short paragraphs. The first one is describing your what. And it's really describing your vision for your highest and best self. And to do this, there are, you'll see in the worksheet, there are a number of questions and question prompts. And I've listed them here just to help you get started. What kind of person are you at your best? How is that reflected in how you care for other people? Right? Not just how you care for yourself, but also how you care for other people. What kinds of contributions do you love making in the world? A lot of times your vision is going to be describing what you want to give, what you want to change out in the world. And what standards do you hold yourself to? This is really important. Having clarity about what you expect of yourself and how you want to walk in the world as your highest and best self. That's the kind of thing that can go into that personal vision statement. Likewise, what kind of energy do you want to bring with you when you go into a room? What kind of energy do you want to create in other people? Another way of getting at this, tapping into this, is kind of a sentence completion exercise. My mission in life is what? My whole life is about what? Those are the kinds of sentences that you answer when you're filling this worksheet out and you're kind of distilling this down into one paragraph. And I encourage you to brainstorm here. Don't feel constrained. Don't feel that you need to craft this in a perfect way at first. This is something you may want to come back to. And I'd really recommend just trying to answer these questions and write, see what comes to you. And then from that, you can likely distill it down into a more essential form. And if you want to write a whole page for yourself, you go for it. And in fact, you'll see me talking throughout this whole thing about this little book that I carry around with myself that has a lot of the material I work with on a daily and weekly basis. And in here, you'll see that I did, in fact, indulge in an entire page to describe this for myself. I'm actually in the process of editing that down now myself. And I use that, by the way, each week when I'm planning my week. I go back to that vision of my what and my why, which we'll get to in a moment, to just remind myself of what I'm going after and why I'm doing it. Also in this vision, in this what, you may want to make reference to some of the most important roles that you occupy, whether it's in your family or as an entrepreneur or a social change agent. You might want to mention those roles because they will likely be a part of, fulfilling those roles well will likely be a part of this vision of your what. So now let's talk about your why. And what we're after here is a short 1-paragraph statement, again, that is just describing why that vision you just laid out, why your what is so important to you. And again, you may want to go back to that model of your psychology and think about how you're meeting your human needs. And that may give you the answers in some ways as to why this vision is so important and why it's so important for you to live out your highest and best self and to make these changes in the world. So that's it. This exercise, this worksheet is about creating 2 paragraphs. And what do you do with those once you've got them is print them out, physically print them out so that you can carry them around with you in some fashion and use them regularly. Remind yourself of your what and your why. And you'll find, particularly if the going gets tough, and you're in need of some inspiration at a particularly tough moment, if you're preparing for a meeting or you're planning your week ahead, or you're just trying to get back in touch with why you're really doing this and what it's all about, you can come back to these paragraphs and they will pull you forward towards that joyful impact that this journey is all about. If you like this video and you want to access the worksheet or any other material that goes with it, just click the link below or head on over to joyfulimpact.co. That's the website where we have all the material we use for working with coaching and personal development for change agents. You can set up a free account in the members area, and you can also check out the blog where we have new content coming out all the time. Why are we putting all this out there for free? Because the world has never been more in need of a new greatest generation of change agents. I hope this material is helpful to you, and if it is, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. That will help us spread the word.